Thanks these two for the suggestion. Load up Grand Theft Auto 5, start a new game. Welcome to a game named after a crime where, would you believe it, you're breaking the law. You are Michael, robbing a bank alongside Trevor and disposable character 1. Apparently you're not very good at bank robbing, because you die. But not really, since you're still alive. But not for long if you keep smoking like that. 9 years later and you're at therapy with Bob Ross, talking about your son and how he's a bit shit. I'm fairly certain my parents have had a similar conversation. Then you leave and sit on a bench. While on the bench, you lose interest in Michael because benches are boring and decide to control this guy instead. This is Franklin, who's stealing cars. That's literally it. That's what he does. Take the cars to a dealership, but make sure you don't scratch them, or that will definitely affect the resale value. Apparently, no one in this game can earn an honest living because your boss scams some rich kid for a car. Then you get to steal the car back so he can sell it again. When you steal the car, there's actually a homeless man in the back seat. Never mind, it's Michael, and he has a gun, which isn't good. Drive through the dealership window because getting fired is probably better than becoming home to a 9mm round. And controlling Michael, beat up the dealership guy like you beat your meat at night, and go back to your home to relax after an honest day's work. Franklin shows up to apologize for stealing your stuff, and you're about to go out for a drink when your son rings you, telling you he may have tried to sell your boat, and it may have got stolen with him on it. So now you've got to go and save it. The boat, I mean, not the son. Chase down the boat and save your son, but the car breaks down before you can get your boat back, giving you another reason to hate your son. And Franklin offers to repair your car and take your son home. And I think trusting a guy who broke into your house with your car sounds great. Playing as Franklin, go to Michael's house to find out his wife has been doing the nasty with the tennis coach, and obviously you kind of just go along with this shit. So go with Michael to take down the tennis coach's house, only it's not his house, it's a Mexican gang's house. Why does a tennis coach have ties to a Mexican gang? I don't fucking know, but now your wife isn't the only thing getting fucked. The gang leader wants you to finance the repairs, meaning you're gonna need some cash. And since bank robbing is your only skill, that's what we're gonna do. Meet up with your friend named Lester, who looks exactly like you'd expect a guy named Lester to look, but he's smart and good at finding places to rob. Obviously, you've been dead for 9 years, so you gotta help him first after 9 years of ghosting him. Basically, just put some device in a tech company's phone and that's it. Oh, good lord, I thought it was just a virus. Hey, at least Lester will help you now. He suggests robbing a jewelry store, which works because jewelry is expensive, so case the joint, scope the deets, look at the shit, so you know how best to rob the place. And formulate a plan with drivers, hackers, and Franklin. Can't forget about him. While Lester sorts out some shit, Franklin gets into some gang-related tomfoolery with his friend Lamar, who's trying to make some money with a guy named Stretch, who ends up betraying them later because he's a twat. And Michael does a little family bonding. Once Michael steals a pest control van and some knockout gas, it's finally heist time, where we sit down and have a proper meeting. So listen, guys, if we do the thing, it'll work. Any questions? Surprisingly, the heist goes well. You're able to put everyone to sleep, steal some stuff, and get out with only one slight hiccup. As Franklin, go to Michael's to celebrate your first day at work, but it turns out Trevor was watching the news while getting his cardio in and hears Michael's signature catchphrase from the witness, and figures out old Mikey's still alive when he's actually supposed to be dead, and acts as you'd expect an unhinged maniac to act. But thanks to your murderous rampage, your meth lab no longer has any competition, and while on your entrepreneurial exploits, your mate Wade found Michael, so go reunite with your best friend, who probably wasn't your best friend because he faked his death and ghosted you and probably doesn't want you in his life, but you never know, he might have just opened your message and forgot to reply. Michael's surprised you're alive, and here, obviously, there's suddenly a crazed psycho on his doorstep, and goes to meet up with the FIB agent who basically helped him fake his death and change his identity and keep his stolen cash. He's not happy you're back to your criminalness because he got the promotion for killing you, and if it turns out you're not actually dead, then his career will finish faster than I do in bed. Because of the deal you made with policeman Poohface, you and the boys end up having to do a series of jobs for them, and it's not even good work, it's just murder this, heist that, torture random guy. Then even their billionaire mate Devin gets involved, asking you to steal Posh Boy cars. During this time, Trevor gets kind of suspicious about Michael's relationship with the police, probably because we're literally their work donkeys, even though we're criminals. You know, for a crazy violent psychopath, he's pretty smart, it's gotta be said. Trevor and Michael then go help out the Mexican gang from that one time when you pulled his house down. Not because you owe him anymore, just as a favor, and things are going pretty well. You kill his cousin or nephew or some bullshit, I don't know, and get some files for him, but then Trevor kidnaps his wife, which I think means that the deal is off. Oh yeah, you've also got to go into hiding now. Surprisingly, despite being in hiding, the police you've been working for find you because, you guessed it, they've got more shit for you to do. What? No way, I can't believe it. They want you to steal some neurotoxin that's really fucking dangerous because international affairs are plotting something evil with it, and they are actually the good guys trying to protect the free people of America. Anyway, steal the shit and escape. Honestly, if heisting was this easy in real life, then we would literally be living in a 24/7 purge. You also get back on good terms with Mexican gangman, so no more hiding in greasy crack dens for you. You're chilling in your house when Trevor comes to visit. He's got a plan of breaking Brad out of prison. What? Who's Brad? Oh, it's this guy. Yeah, so basically, Trevor's been thinking that Brad's been in prison this entire time, but he was actually 6 feet under in your grave from when you sold out all your crew members and faked your death to get a new life. Anyway, after some confrontation with Trevor, he sort of realizes that's what's happening and goes to check on your grave back where this all started. You follow him, and sure enough, Brad is there, looking fine, and Trevor is hurt, like wife cheating on husband kind of hurt, and runs away into the distance crying. Then a Chinese gang turns up, hoping to get Trevor, but he's crying in the horizon, so they take you instead because they think you're his boyfriend. It's funny because they tried to use you as a hostage, like he hasn't just found out you've been lying to him for the past 10 years. In other words, it doesn't work. Franklin and Lester start getting a bit suspicious about you being fucking gone, so ask Trevor, who gets angry but tells Franklin you're a hostage and your prob's gonna die. Playing as Franklin, track him down to a meat factory in Los Santos, which is super lucky because if it was anywhere else, you would not get there before Michael was turned into some Richmond sausages. Save the fuck out of him, take him home, and he will tell you why Trevor and him aren't friends, which you think is a bit shit, but Trevor is a nutcase, so it's probably better that he's gone. The Corrupto Popo have more jobs for you anyway. International Affairs have some dirt on them, and they need us to go and delete it. They said this would be our last job before we're free, so we go and do it, but who'd have guessed they were lying and tried to arrest you and kill you, but luckily Trevor came to save you. Not because he's your friend, but because he wants to do one last big score with you before you part ways. Big score being a fuck ton of gold in some bank. And I tell you what, you guys have really gotten better at this heist shit, because when we started, you managed to mess up robbing a bank in the middle of nowhere, and now you're robbing banks in the middle of the city and not dying in the process. After the big score, all the police and shit kind of just forget that it happens, and you all go on with your lives. But Devin, that billionaire guy who wanted you to steal them cars, shows up to Franklin's house, saying, yeah, you're gonna have to kill the other two dickheads. But they're your mates, even though they're definitely missing a few screws, so you speak to Lester to try and figure out a way to not kill them, and the solution is actually very simple. Just fucking kill everyone else. And that's literally what you do. So now everyone who has a problem with the three of you can't really do anything about it because they're all a bit on the not living side of things. Trevor then kidnaps Devin and meets up with Michael and Franklin, and you all enjoy a nice sunset while pushing Devin into the sea, where he will most likely suffocate and die. With no more people trying to kill you, you can all get on with your lives, doing the occasional heist here and there as friends. What started as a game with two guys who were pretty bad at heisting and a guy who just liked to steal cars resulted in you murdering probably thousands of people, stealing a shitload of money, and learning that nothing bad will happen if you kill everyone who doesn't like you, as you complete Grand Theft Auto 5.